All right, Chelsea.
Brian.
I hope you don't mind. I brought my dinner with me tonight
Oh
simply
no.
because I haven't actually eaten all day. And I was kind of scrambling towards the end here to make sure that I didn't forget. And I was like, oh, I was like feeling lightheaded.
No.
I was like, I got to get something to eat.
Yeah. I tell clients that when I used to have a team members, my like biggest thing was like, please, please, please eat while you're talking to me because like I don't want to be working with anyone who's angry, you know? And
I
they're
don't.
like, oh no, it's just so rude to eat while you're in a call or something. And I'm like, no, it's like the nicest thing you can do to the other person.
I, well, are you being serious or no?
I'm being
Because I
dead
don't want to
serious. I'm
be
like,
rude or
please
anything.
eat. No, I'm being dead serious.
Well,
I would encourage people to like eat during meetings. Like, do not be in a meeting starving. That's like crazy.
if it's like a team meeting or something, I totally get that. If it's like for a client, I probably wouldn't.
Now,
Um,
I don't eat when I'm working with clients because they're paying me, but like I encourage them to eat.
right. No, and I definitely don't. I usually don't do something like this. I just don't want to slurp, or
I
like,
hope you slurp.
you know. So I'm like, as I'm eating, I'm backing away, but my little cup of noodle is like below screen, so nobody can really tell. And then hopefully, like, you can cover for me while I feed my mouth.
I love it. I really want the oh, you're using your mic. I don't know if you know you're using your mic. When I'm eating and like people can see me, I do the chew like this.
Oh, you do
Which
the Japanese thing.
is that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
All of
know.
the Japanese shows that I watch all these reality uh, TV shows that are based out of either Japan or Korea, South Korea.
Mhm.
And so when the ladies are eating, they'll eat and they do this and they all cover their mouth. It's just the women. The guys don't. And the guy.
Really?
Another thing that I notice is when they eat noodles, like slurping's an actual thing. Like you're supposed to slurp.
Cuz it's a compliment or something?
I don't know, but they do it on camera.
Hey.
Like they'll be like,
That was pretty good. You need like a liquidy or cup of
yeah,
noodles. That
yeah.
sounds like it's not you're faking
I
it too hard.
I didn't know I was going to demonstrate that. I didn't know I was going to talk about my Pacific Rim content that I've been watching.
Hey,
But I
I
pick
like
up
it.
on so much stuff. Like I think I can go to Japan or South Korea now and
Mhm.
actually not necessarily fit in, but I think there's certain things that I've picked up on these shows to where I'm like, okay, I get that, you know?
Yeah. I am one episode into the newest season of Married at First Sight. I don't know where it's released in real time. I only see it when it's released on Netflix, but
The
I
very
saw
newest
your
season?
post. No, no, the newest that
Oh, the
was
newest one?
released. I saw your post on Instagram about the dating reality shows. Oh, and I was like, great. I've started.
That's it. Well, I haven't watched the last few seasons, but I enjoyed those because they try to get experts to match you up with somebody they think would be good for you.
Hmm.
And I'm always fascinated by studies like that.
Yep.
And sometimes
I,
they worked. It was kind of cool to watch.
oh, I just found the show recently, but the very last season that was on Netflix, not the current one, some of them were just so cute and endearing and just clicked and already are doing wonderfully and like have children. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this.
When we what was the show that we were watching? The reality show that we talked
MILF
about.
Manor.
Not MILF. The one. Well, we did watch that, but that was as a challenge. The other
Oh,
one,
Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. And I think I mentioned this on one of our episodes, and I think I said what I would prefer to see, or I'd like to see one time, is a show like this, but with just older, more mature people. And I think I found one that I just got done with the first episode. It's called Love Village,
Hmm.
which sounds kind of freaky and kinky.
Yeah.
It's a Japanese uh, reality dating show. Everybody is 35 or older,
Okay.
and the weird thing about this is uh they I guess they bought the rights to use like the Backstreet Boys music, so it's like 35 and older reality show set in Japan but using Backstreet Boys music. It's kind
Uh,
of that kind of takes me out of that's like the fourth wall being broken or something for
I
me.
know.
But it's it's kind of interesting because the whole dynamic when you're with more mature people is just different. Now I enjoy my raunchy TV, the you and I had talked about before the dating shows where it's just mindless TV, like Big Brother, Love is Blind, all that stuff, whatever. But sometimes I'm just like all the not necessarily the crying, but it's just they get so immature about certain things. Or they get worked up about certain things. I'm like, I would like to see something a little bit older, not too old.
Hmm.
I've said this before too. I don't know what that range is, but there is probably a too old that I don't want to see.
When the 22-year-olds are like, I'm never finding love, it's very hard to watch.
Well, and then
It's like,
they're
grow
they're
up.
all in their underwear and just kind of
Their underwear.
laying out by the pool. Now this show here that I'm watching, this Love Village, they throw all these old people in this like run down old style Japanese kind of farmhouse. Because all the shows that we watch, like I watch Love Island, like my wife and I are watching Love Island right now, and they're like, I think they rented out an entire ritzy hotel in Las Vegas. I think this
Okay.
is during the pandemic, that's why nobody was there. So everything's like done for them, the cleaning's done for them, the cooking's done for them. All they have to do is just get with each other, right? And then pick somebody to get with by the end of the night to sleep with. This one here, it's like it's old people fixing the house up, which I'm like, couldn't they have done something else to make it a little nicer for them? But then I'm like, that's kind of real though.
Yeah,
Like you think about
much
all the
more.
times that you and your spouse or you and your significant other are like doing stuff, painting a room.
Hmm.
So I think it's kind of neat. It is different. I've had a couple people try some of these shows that I've suggested to them, and they're just like, I couldn't get into it. And I think it's like a language thing for them,
Hmm.
or just if they're not seeing people that they see in everyday life, they're just like, I can't get into it. But I love it.
Nice. Is it are there captions or is it in English? No.
No, it's captioned, and then you can have your TV caption it. So I just found that out too
Yeah.
this past week because we had the show is captioned, and then our TV, our Apple TV was captioned. So we had a caption on caption. And my wife was like, "Get rid of the one caption." I was like, "Okay, fine."
Yeah. Danielle says if you can survive renovation, it's real up.
That's what I came to that conclusion
Yep.
because they were ripping out the floor, and the one guy, he's an actor, like 40 something years old, and he was like pulling the boards out and everything, and then the girls were kind of trying to help him out or whatever, and I'm like, this is just like watching another set of spouses. Like this is me and my wife doing a house thing over the weekend and just seeing how we get along or how we get together, and it's kind of cool. And then there's like, then there's some a little bit older group that's there as well,
Hmm.
and I, I I mean, there's an age limit that I'm like interested in here. So there's a certain age group there that I'm just like, because they started talking about like sex and everything, and I'm just like, mm.
Wait, what do you say what you're not saying? Because I'm missing it.
No, yeah, depending on who's on, I just don't want to be rude.
Just say it.
I know, but it's just so the older couple, they're sitting on the bench, and he was talking about men. It started with a really odd conversation, like people who cheat, um, and it has to do with something about sex or something. So he started going into this whole sex conversation. He's like, I don't know, 65, 70. I'm not saying that's old, but I'm just saying.
And also, mind you, you're reading this. This is why I hate captions.
And I'm reading this, but I'm feeling it. I can see, and then I'm reading as well. I'm paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good show, but it's hard because it's a completely different culture.
Yeah.
And you have to really pay attention. You can't be on your phone because you have to read, or else you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, that's why when I'm watching really any reality TV, but definitely dating, I'm normally catching up on work at the end of the night and listening halfway. And the plot is like so obvious that I don't have to pay attention. So the idea of reading feels extreme.
So you don't know what season of Married at First Sight you're watching?
13 or 15? I mean, I can look.
Just in case somebody comes across and they're like, oh, I just saw that season.
I mean, it's not made by Netflix. Yeah, no one spoil it. So I can't actually, my husband's watching Netflix downstairs. So if I click it, I think it'll, oh, here we go. 13.
Season 13. Yeah, I'm sure I haven't seen that. I think I've seen the first like 4 or 5 seasons.
I've only seen like 14 and 15 because I just started a hot minute ago and they're on Netflix. That helps a lot.
Oh, what was I going to, you're a TikTok user, right?
Oh, yes.
Like we've talked about before.
I don't post anything ever, but I consume a lot.
Consume. It's like secret Chelsea account or something.
And it's totally a normal account. It's my real picture. I'm friends with my friends. I just have no desire to post. Like I'm there for consumption.
Have you seen the latest trend? It's like blowing up, and I'm like, I don't know how TikTok's letting this thing go.
Probably what?
If I play a song, let me know if you recognize this song. Okay.
Padam.
Hold on. I'm not going to put it up on the screen because I don't want YouTube strikes.
I have seen this trend.
That's the song for the trend.
The trend is like a bunch of women dancing. I've seen it, right?
Well,
it's like 5 women and they each do one line.
It could be with that song also. That's not the trend that's going around that.
So here's what I love about TikTok. We are not on the same TikTok.
Yeah, we're well, okay, hold on. I'm not saying this is what I'm watching. This came up. No,
what you're watching.
Well, it is now because I was comparing notes with somebody earlier. But it popped up one time, and then I was like, what did I just see? And of course, it's done purposefully like that to loop so that you go back and you watch it over and you're like, there's no way. You have your phone there?
Yeah.
Let me send it to you.
Okay, send it to me.
And then maybe you can describe it better than I can. Okay.
Okay. Although I don't really want to watch it because you're going to mess up my algorithm. It's going to mess up
your algorithm. It is.
Send it to me. I'm too curious.
I watched it one time, and now every girl on TikTok is doing this, and it comes up on my FYP. I swear to God, I'm not liking it.
Here, send it to me. I won't watch it long enough for it to matter. Hopefully.
Well, you're gonna have to watch it all the way through, or else you're not gonna get the.
Send it to me. I'm committed. I'm committed.
Okay.
And then I'll try to describe it for everyone listening.
Chelsea's being a sport and risking her FYP
which
algorithm.
Is big. So what I'll do after this is I'll go through and I'll like follow a bunch of the content I do want to fix it.
Let's see here.
I know how to fix it. I'm pretty big into it. Recently, I've gone down do you know what side chick is? No, the woman who accidentally cracked a fertilized egg and then put it into a cup and saw how long it would develop.
No.
And so then she had a chick, got to 15 days of gestation, and it was like on the side of the clear cup, and you could just watch the chick developing. I'm like, wait, yeah, my TikTok is not your TikTok.
I would watch that.
I know you'd love it. I'll send it to you after, but hang on, let me see. I want to. Describe for everyone what Brian watches on TikTok.
And
You just
this,
heard what I watch. What are these shorts?
well, if
Oh,
you're looking at
sure.
if you're looking at the shorts, you're paying attention to the wrong part of the screen.
I think I got the concept. So what happens is the song says he doesn't need to tell me what to do like that. I bend over or something. And then the woman just turns around and then like touches her shins and then stands back up, and it's suggestive.
Did you pay attention to the video?
Yeah. What do you see?
Are you watch the video?
I did. Okay, I'm watching it again. Oh, she like pulls her whole boob out.
That's
Is that the
going
thing?
around. Yeah.
I
So
didn't even see that. So then they're just like pulling their boob out.
So if you notice on the thing, so when they turn away from the camera, their hand away from the camera pulls their boob out, and then they turn for a fraction of a second, and then you see the entire boob, and then they turn back around, and then the shirt's back to being fixed. And TikTok
this is what you're consuming on TikTok right now.
This was what I was doing prior to going on.
I let you ruin my algorithm.
But this was more from a research type thing on TikTok, because the first one popped up, and I'm like,
research.
I swear to God, I will let you even log into my account, my personal account, just so you can see what I follow. And I swear to God, it's not this stuff.
Oh, God.
But the one of them popped into my FYP, and I watched that one video, and they're not that long. They're like 10 seconds, 9 seconds. So you almost can't help but see.
Hey, I'm not bothered by porn, whatever your thing is.
Well, I know,
it's
but
like
you didn't
quick
even see
side
it.
boob on TikTok.
You didn't even see it.
Because I'm not looking at the same thing.
But it's not even just side boob. I mean, it's full on nipple too.
I saw she
which
was
I feel
pierced.
like I'm a 10-year-old, 12-year-old boy or something. Like,
I know, Brian's like, oh, look, oh.
But I'm more like, how do they get away with it? And I watched that one video, and now it's like every 10, 11 videos will come through. And
are any of them coming down?
Different. Not that I know of, because everybody's doing it.
I mean, no, TikTok's going to figure it out. That's against their guidelines, right?
So what I was doing with somebody before I got on here, when I was trying to warm up my noodles in the microwave, you know how you can go on the song, like you click the song that they use, and then you can see everybody that uses the same TikTok video for that song.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to
can't do that. I don't
click
really
on
wreck
the
my
song,
algorithm. I just watched it twice.
And it took you twice to see what I was seeing. And it's like so many people are doing it, and they're getting like thousands and thousands of views. And this is how they're making money.
Yeah.
I'm raising awareness of, like, it's interesting. Not that I'm like, well, look at what these women are doing.
It's clear that you're going through and watching every video for scientific research.
I do have a lot of science accounts.
Don't be ashamed of your porn interests. It's fine.
I am just curious. So then I'm thinking, because I have been following getting monetized on TikTok lately, right?
Yep.
So Instagram,
I saw your post about
this. Instagram Reels bonus, you can't make money on that anymore. So then, Instagram, I'm very passively paying attention over there. And now I can't post videos. That's not here or there. I'm having issues posting videos to where it gives me an error that does not let me upload videos. The only videos that are posting are the ones that I have scheduled from last month.
Oh, weird.
So that's why, like, a lot of my videos are from like the garden 3-4 weeks ago, and it doesn't make sense. But monetizing on TikTok now. So they have two different things that you can do. One is short videos, which is just the TikTok Creator Fund, which uh, you get paid X amount of cents per however many views that you get on a video.
Yep.
And so everybody was in this TikTok fund. They had like $3 billion to give away to everybody that was able to join this fund. So then everybody's only getting a couple pennies. I mean, nobody's really making anything. And then there's a new one that they're trying to get people to create more long form video with more. They're trying to compete with YouTube is what they're doing. And I think in the end, so that they can put ads on them down the road, so they can make a lot more money on TikTok and for the creators to make money. So apparently people that are doing this TikTok creativity program beta, the minimum video is you have to have it at least a minute long or longer. It can't be short. So these little videos like that, they can't monetize that. So these people are still probably on the old TikTok bonus program, to where they're still making a good amount of money because they're getting a shit ton of views on these short videos that you watch over and over again.
So you're like, are you bothered that they are able to make a lot of money quickly, or what's your tone? Sorry. Not are you bothered? I'm not assuming. Right. I'm just curious.
Yeah. No, I am curious in how are people making money? How do they do that? Because I try to break that down. Like, okay. And the different ways that people, what I consider legitimately and illegitimately make content to make money on these platforms.
Wait, what about that is illegitimate?
That's not illegitimate. The one that the kind that I have issues with are people that are getting a shit ton of views over using content from other people.
Yes.
So what and you might be aware of this also, is there's a lot of accounts that are making a lot of money that are using movie clips, using other people's content for theirs.
Yep. Yeah.
Not necessarily for like reviewing, not necessarily for, but like just being.
No, they just post it straight up and then be like, love this actor. And it's like, no, that's
250,000 views later, and they're making money, and there's so many followers following them because people don't really care to get content from the original person. So then those people get up and over 10,000 followers, and then those people can get monetized, and those people then further create an even bigger account and get to 50,000, and then can get better monetization, and then the next level up is 100,000 people. So that's why it drives me nuts seeing people that have manipulated ways to do this, whereas other people that I consider myself, I'm like, I'm trying to make unique content, and it's so hard to do, and then to get monetized doing it.
I mean, we saw a way you could do it, so I'm just saying. Looks like I bet you money, if you did a video like that wearing a woman's tank top, it would hit.
So let me see here.
I don't need to bet you money. You buy me drinks, it'll work.
So that particular account is probably not even her account. It's probably just somebody that's just pulling that particular video.
Oh, that sucks. I don't like that.
So that person that has that video only has 930 followers, and that video has been viewed 32,000 times. Which isn't too bad.
Danielle agrees with me. We need you to do this. Like, listen, if you're gonna say you're doing it for science, it's not science if there's no experiment.
Well, there was a live that I did a few days ago with Amanda, the ever hopeful gardener, and I haven't done a live with her in forever. And I think
I missed it. What was it on?
She was trying to. It was on TikTok though, so she's mostly on Instagram I'm mostly on TikTok. Danielle, don't start telling everybody that, you know,
We are. Danielle and I are spreading the word.
I'm going to start doing all these raunchy things. Although
Yeah.
I do need a
I
new
mean,
computer and I'm not above.
and you're in the fund, so like you better get those views.
And it's for science.
It's for science.
But
I am dying to see this video.
Amanda and I were doing just like a, hey, what's up, just hanging out, kind of a live on TikTok, and she was getting ready. I think she had like some party or something she was going to. So a popular theme is the get ready with me, right? I'm sure you've seen those.
Oh yes.
Mostly with the ladies, and it's, they're putting on their makeup, but they're talking about something. I think it's kind of brilliant. I mean, a lot of people do it, but it's effective. I don't know why it's effective. Why is that effective? Why do you think?
Do you watch it?
I do.
So I find it effective for two reasons. I watch two kinds of them. I don't normally watch the like pure chit chat one. So there are certain makeup artists I follow who I love, and I am like watching for makeup techniques. That's a lie. I watch three kinds. That's one kind.
Okay.
The other kind I'll categorize as transformation. So like a lot of drag artists and costume makeup artists where like I'm watching for the transformation, and normally the edit is very interesting as well. And then the third kind I watch is pure fashion. So normally the makeup is done, and that is where I do follow a lot of men and women. And I like fashion. I find it really interesting, even styles that are outside of my norm. And so, like, if you follow Sammy, who's very famous, lives in the UK, really hot, tatted woman, does like this cool style. There's this other dude I follow who lives in the US who does like styled up leisure wear for men. So I'm either for the fashion, for the makeup, and that's just like an interesting way to consume those that information, or the transformation, which to me is more like artistry.
Well, I guess then there's 4 categories of that, because what I watch
is naked women.
No. Yeah, they're doing their thing and then their boob flops out.
I mean, this is apparently your thing.
What I watch, and this is why I find it kind of fascinating, is the getting ready is secondary. It's just like
I
they're
don't like that.
multitasking, but they're talking about something within that's going on, maybe in the news or whatever. There's something else. So
I don't like
primary
those.
thing is discussing something else while they're kind of getting ready.
I know exactly what you mean. Anytime I see someone, even that I like doing that, I skip it.
Even if it's, well, why do you think that people like that then, though? Because I do.
I don't. I'm guessing it's like this a similar reason as to why Game of Thrones often has sex happening in the background of all of their major conversations. It's like I'm going to talk and my talking is boring, so I'm going to give you something to look at that will engage you. And I think TikTok, one of the like highest markets on it is makeup and is fashion. So it's like I'm going to do the thing I know people like, and hopefully that'll entertain you while I talk. But anytime it's just a talking head, I scroll. The few talking heads I like are comedians, and they're short, and it's a joke, and there's a punchline. Other than that, if it's a talking head, I'm like, it's not why I'm here.
Well, let me think here, because one of the last ones, so it's a female comedian that I was watching yesterday. Your Mom's House podcast. So Christina.
I thought you were saying at my mom's house. I was like, that's so odd.
Your Mom's House is the name of the podcast that she's on with her husband.
Okay.
Is she married to Tom Segura?
I'm not throwing names.
No. Anyways, so she was doing one to where she was talking about something happened earlier in the day when she was traveling out to LA or something, because she had a stand-up show or something, and something fucked up happened or whatever. So she's getting ready to leave, and she was it was the get ready with me. So she was telling the story as she was getting ready. And so it's the distraction, I guess, of, I don't know. I don't know if it's multitasking, or if it's people kind of faking it just because now it's a trend to do the get ready with me while you're telling a story. But anyways, long story to get to this. So Amanda and I Amanda was getting ready and talking.
Wait, Amanda didn't get ready with me? I missed
Well,
that when you shared that.
we were just doing a live, and then she was like, "Well, I'm getting in the shower," and I said, "Well, if you're wanting to get to 10,000 fast, then let's do a live while you're in your shower."
Oh
And
my
so
god.
while
Brian's encouragement. Like,
while
it's hilarious to me. Brian's like, the only way to make TikTok work, naked.
yeah, well, I can give her proof. So, and I'm kidding around with her, but I'm like, Amanda, you're 1,000 short of 10,000 people. I was like, we can get there tonight. I was like, just go in the shower, just from your neck up or something. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, then she gets out and then she just puts on a robe and then she comes on live with me. So she just has her robe on. She's like, I need to get ready to go out tonight. So I hope you don't mind. And so she's doing the get ready with me while we're both doing the live together.
Did she get her followers?
Well, while I was kind
I'll
of playing
follow
around
her.
about her doing one in the shower, I was like, okay, everybody, if we're gonna
Mhm.
get her to do that, we need to get this up to 1,000 likes. So like people were hitting likes and the little heart bubbles were going up, and then somebody sent me a couple stickers or tips or something, and so I said, now I'm not the one that you guys need to send the stickers to. You need to go over and send her stickers. So then they went over to her thing.
She's still 850 away.
Is she? Yeah.
What's your account called? The Garden Voyeur or
Well, the garden
yeah.
board is my personal garden account. Yeah.
Oh, you've multiple. I don't follow you on TikTok either. Don't be mad at me.
And then I have the Tossing Salad podcast one. And then I've got my personal one that nobody knows. And then I've got a cooking one. And all of these
You're
are
not
really
going to tell me your personal one?
Well,
Me
we'll
and
see if we can
everyone
ever find it.
watching this
Maybe
live?
if you can find it.
I'm a decent troll hunter. I could find it, but I have to be
We'll see.
motivated.
We'll see if you can find it. Don't start going through all the little boob videos, because then you'll see me, it's like, hey, this
Oh,
guy is
that's
watching
true.
all the boob videos.
I can't go find it because if I go find it, it's going to ruin my algorithm.
I've got 5 TikTok accounts.
That is absurd.
It's because the algorithm. I want to. You'll understand this. It's a pain in the ass, but you'll understand this. So I'm big into cooking and recipes and stuff like that. And when I'm in the mood for seeing like food stuff, that's all I want to see.
Yep. That's why I like my garden Instagram account. It's just the garden.
And it's the same thing with the garden too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to mix my garden stuff with my cooking stuff, with my comedy, science, all the other things that I personally just like to consume, just to disconnect.
I understand it sort of. The only thing I would say, what I like about my TikTok is it's this like perfect mix of what I enjoy. And that's what I find most fun about it, is like it's all the stuff that I like in one place.
That's my personal account.
Like, okay, so you do have like
there's my personal secret account has like 5 or 6 things that I'm really into that the algorithm just kind of knows. And then a random naked boob shot just to make sure that
I was like, you have to describe what those 5 or 6 things are, because we're all assuming the worst.
I still have blood pumping in the body. But there's things to where I just want it segmented away. And my cooking one, I just want it segmented away, because then I know, because I'm always like, what's that one thing that I watched the other day? And if it's all under one account, I wouldn't be able to scroll through and find it. But at least with cooking, I'm like, oh, I remember that recipe I saw.
Are you in Lemon Talk?
Lemon Talk?
I love lemon-based desserts.
No.
TikTok just knows me from like learning my actions. And so I am deep into like lemon dessert TikTok. And I just get pushed like all these lemony desserts. I don't recommend getting in this TikTok because you're just like craving things constantly.
That's a little narrow, but that sounds delish, because I do love a good lemon
My
dessert.
TikTok is so narrow. I'm like, these are all the versions of mine. Okay. It's 8:51. We had some business for this now.
Yeah, no, we need to figure out what we're gonna do. That's good. You're corralling us in. So we are.
When you said narrow, I was like, we should get more narrow.
Well, we haven't talked in a while, and that's why we're kind of just throwing everything out. So we're on episode 16. So we have 17 through 24, and we have to plan for the next episode. So episode 17, we have to come up with something that we want to do.
So I have a slightly sad update that you probably would have predicted.
What's that? Tell me.
I'm pretty sure. No, I'm sure. I'm trying to say things definitively. I'm not making it to 24. It's not happening.
What?
I know. I know.
Not that I'm surprised, but
I know. I said you're not going to be surprised. So.
are you announcing something or?
No. I just realized last episode, which would be fun to debrief, that like I don't want to do this. Because and we'll talk about it, but we should also make time to plan because I don't want to like end with this episode because we've had such fun times. So I think we should pick an episode like far enough out that like the crew who usually joins us can join and we can like have audience participation and make it really fun.
Well, so I've had, you know how newspapers have like obituaries written up
Yeah.
for people that like when they die, like
oh my god,
they
I'm
are
not
like
dying.
No, but so that they can run it and it's all done up and they don't have to research it and write it the day that somebody dies, a celebrity dies or
You
whatever.
predicted this death for the
No, not but I've talked about before. I was like, there's no way. Like every week that percentage just kept going down and down. And I'm like, I mean, at some point, so I had to start thinking ahead. And I did come up with an idea.
Oh, for like a finale?
For what we can do. So what
thank
about
you, Danielle. That's sweet.
What
Danielle
about
says bummer.
episode 17?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of calling it episode 17, we call it episode 24. And then that is the finale episode.
Okay.
And we do what we were going to do for the finale episode. And then when people are like, wait a minute, if they are paying attention, most people aren't going to even give a shit. But I'm thinking ahead because I think it's funny.
I like it.
That later on, they're going to be like, wait a minute. You guys did 16 and you guys were gone. And then you guys just did 24. I was like, where's 17 through 23?
They missed it.
And then we can say, well, those are in the vault. You can pull like a Taylor Swift thing. Those are vault episodes that we recorded. And if we ever were to release them, we'll definitely let people know. And
wait, I love this. I also would do more of this. I just can't maintain this schedule.
No, but so Danielle, hear this out. Danielle, you're the only one here. And so you're kind of a producer of the show right now too.
You are.
So the next one will be episode 24. You can tell that I've planned this all out.
I know you were like, I know Chelsea's gonna ditch.
So, well, no, not that Chelsea's gonna ditch, but we'll talk about it on episode 24.
Okay.
Because that's the unveiling. That's the
I don't even know what's happening on episode 24 though.
This is the altar episode for Love is Blind. Where
I didn't know you had a plan for episode 24.
Well, I have to plan because I mean, this is both of our show, but this whole thing is something that I have to keep maintaining and I have to plan to do other stuff as well.
It's not quite your style to like have a plan.
That's very true. In certain things, yes. Yeah, to have it planned and worked out, or this is all in my head too. So it's just stuff that I've thought about. So the next one will be episode 24. And we play it up huge. Like the big series finale, episode 24, next Tuesday night, next Friday night, whenever it is, whenever we decide.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, should we do next Friday? Or is that enough time? I planned ahead. I thought a little bit. I could do next Friday. Or should we do a little further out just to make sure we get like a big showing?
Well, no, because I think that's the thing how this also works, and kind of everybody's like, what is going on? Because we haven't put anything out in the last few weeks.
Okay. So
then
Friday.
All of a sudden people are going to feel guilty because they're going to be, wait, you guys, you're on 24 already? Did you guys do other episodes? And then we just act kind of coy about it. We're like, we have vault episodes that we've recorded. We just haven't been able to put them out.
I'm down.
And what that allows us to do, though, Chelsea, this is the brilliant part, because I think,
Mm-hmm.
and this is all stuff that I'm gonna bring up on our 24th on the big finale episode. So I think you and our episodes are always really good.
Of course.
For whatever reason, the timing just isn't right to do a long standing thing with you right now.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, at any point, whether it's a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and I'm sure we're going to say, oh my God, why don't we just do some one-off episode?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That would be episode 17 from the vault that we release like Taylor Swift does.
Perfect. See, I'm just giving us enough vault episodes to keep it fun. I actually knew this would be the idea, and I was just planting the strategy.
So this is I mean, it's kind of part of the show also.
Of course. I
Because
was planned from the beginning.
We take what comes to us and we try to make the most of it.
There we go.
And I trust me, I'm not shocked.
Wait, I got to give you my why. We should end talking a little bit more about 24. For now, you want to know why?
Do you want it now or do you want it for the series finale? Because we do have to
no.
honest.
The series finale can't be about why we're ending, because the series finale is like a giant party.
No, the series finale has always been the altar show.
Oh.
No, remember Love is Blind? They go to the altar and everybody's there. Will they say, "Will you marry me?" So the whole point of so I guess Chelsea and I need to be on the same page on what our show is about.
I totally get what you're saying now. The reason I don't think I should last till 24 is I know my decision. I don't have the producer of Love is Blind telling me to shut up right now is the problem.
I mean, we can do it. Just don't give away too much, because I do want a lot of what comes out on the finale that we have, because people are going to be like, well, what's going on? And let's at least say that you're not 100%. Let's say you're not 100%, because maybe something might change. Let's leave people on a cliffhanger.
Things can always change. I also think it'd be so fun for just episode 24. We are not calling it a finale then, I guess, to bring on some old co-hosts.
That is a finale, though.
No, because it's a decision episode. I guess, is it a finale? But then there's a question about the next season.
Well, it's the finale. So episode 24 is the finale. Are Brian and Chelsea, are they going to continue this project, or are they going to call it quits?
But finale, it stands for final, so like you can't call it a finale.
Well, it's the end of the project ends on 24, and then there was always the question of, okay, are they going to continue with some project? Do they have enough to make a podcast going forward to do another long-term project?
So here's my suggestion. Release clips of this episode that don't suggest all this, and Danielle, don't tell anyone. And whoever takes the time to watch this episode can hear this. But for everyone else who doesn't, just don't release these parts.
I think we're pretty good.
I mean, Amanda's going to watch it. She's been asking me. She's for sure going to watch this. Amanda, when you get to this part, I believed in you and Brian did not.
No, I think everybody is just like, but I do think people will be interested in that final episode, because they're like, well, fuck, let's just find out what they end up deciding to do.
So I want to bring back Castle and give her the prompt of, there's a time in the episode when we're going to pull you on and you need to be the priest, whatever, and Love is Blind.
However you want to do it, and she would be great to play it up. It's literally like you and I are standing at the altar. I'm going to make her write a
script. I know, but I'm going to make her write a script like with that metaphor in mind, and I'm going to make her run through the script.
All right.
Yeah?
So however you do it, that's fine.
Won't it be fun, or no? You don't like it?
I love it.
Okay.
It's just hard to count on somebody else to do that, and if they don't want to do it, then we're like, well, what are we going to do? But yeah,
if she's free, she'll do it. She did that whole other episode where you and I just showed up.
So, yeah. So I mean, so what do you want to explain now then?
Nothing. I can't explain anything.
Well, I thought you said you wanted to touch base on something.
I was going to tell you why.
Well, tell me
I've
why.
been thinking about this, but no, I had to wait for my final decision time. You were a producer on Love is Blind. Now you stopped being a producer and you're like, I want to know now.
Well, but this is more like when one of the characters, they're having questions about the other person. So this is when you're kind
Mm.
of throwing things out there. You're like, I'm just not sure about going long term because here's why.
Oh, you
And then
want
we're still
those versions.
and then we're still hanging on your final decision.
Well,
Because what I don't want to happen is on that final episode, and it is going to be kind of a party episode,
yeah,
but
we
there's going
have
to be
to do a
some things
party.
that you're not going to be, that you're going to be like, it might be awkward to say. You might as well say it here then.
Oh, I'm not worried. Okay, so the I'll give this then. Right now, I'm trying to think about like what shares enough without sharing everything. I've started this whole new like giant professional journey. It basically changed like 90% of my life in September. And I've already been auditing like all of those new decisions
Yeah.
and been stopping a lot of things
Yeah.
and considering what I want to continue and what I
Right.
don't. I actually sent an email to the president of my college where I work, and it was intense. And I don't mind sharing this because I hope this gets out because I think it's ridiculous. They're not doing any engagement or retention efforts at all for the professors who have to stick around until the program closes. They've shut down our whole program.
Okay.
They've laid off my bosses. I
Okay.
have no support. I'm a brand new teacher
Yeah.
and it's sucking the soul out of me. And I can't quit because if I quit, I screw over my boss who's down to working 3 days a week and is like, has no free time. And she's like, your role's impossible to fill. And I'm like, I know it's impossible to fill. I'm stuck. I'm trapped in a at-will job. I'm trapped based on my value of loyalty. And
But
so I
you're still
emailed
being
him
compensated.
shit
But
compensation.
but you're
Teachers
but
make crap money.
okay.
I would love to not be compensated. I don't need the money. I'd like to quit. I don't want it.
Okay.
And so I emailed the head of the whole college and told him that I want to quit, but I'm trapped based on my morals and values. And I think it's completely unethical what he's doing.
Right.
It's great. So I'm kind of making a lot of those decisions. I'm stopping to lead this co-op that I started in November. So I'm just kind of auditing my life. I'm also starting a new company. And so I'm
Nice.
auditing my life and just kind of going through. And so anywhere I'm spending my time, I'm just trying to figure out like, is this the best spend of my time? So that's one side of the coin.
Yeah.
Other side of the coin is like I like doing this and it's a lot of fun, especially when like Danielle and other friends are on and we're having a great time. The other side of the coin though is last episode is like my nightmare. And I realize if we're successful, that's kind of how this whole system works.
Well, so we're at 47 minutes. So we probably have a good 13 minutes or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
so what about the last episode?
The troll.
Why no? Well, so let's be okay. So you and I always have really good conversations. We joke when we joke. We get serious when we
Yeah.
get serious or whatever. But this is in line with our series because this is, if you're thinking about doing a show, we're opening the books.
Yep.
So obviously, and I knew something was just completely just went downhill.
I was so mad. And he was like, you can't get mad. And I was like, I'm not mad at you. And that was such bullshit. I was like, I'm mad at you.
But there's part of me, to be honest with you, and I didn't know. Chelsea, from what I know of her,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk like you're not here.
Okay.
Again, because I've only known you since last fall. But my thing is, you can obviously handle yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm around people like that, in real life, let's take the show out of it. When I'm around people like that, it's, I wouldn't say fun for me, but I let that person handle their business, and I'm like, okay. And so I don't step in unless I need to step in sometimes. And then now you add in the show element. You and I were doing a show.
Yeah.
And this was going on. And so and we're all real people, and dealing with trolls the way that we do, and especially when it's very raw, we're putting ourselves out here all the time. We're naked,
Brian's
right?
favorite way to
And
be online.
these people are hiding behind accounts
Mm-hmm.
and just putting fuel on the fire to fuck around and to get some response. We all know what the MO is. We all know what the whole thing is. But for the show, and again, it caught me off guard because I've told you before, I have issues with multitasking. So I'm trying to do the show and then I forget about our comment section. Like sometimes I'm not there. So then all of a sudden it clicked. I was like, wait a minute, you're getting into it with somebody here. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And so then I'm kind of like, okay, well, I want to see where this goes. So I'm looking at it from a producer's point of view. Like, okay, well, I want to make this a good show, and Chelsea getting into it with somebody else is a good show.
Thanks, Danielle. I was happy with how I handled it. And thank you, Danielle said that I handled it great. And Brian, I figured it was good content. It was more, if you remember back when we started, it was funny. Back when we started chatting. So it feels like there's a dichotomy happening for me. So I had heard you talking about some challenges with Instagram and not having as much fun, mostly because it sounds like you have this popularity on Instagram. And I hear this from a bunch of others. My goal is to like not be more popular than I am on Instagram. It's exclusively to have a small community of people I trust. I'd love to meet new people who are cool and inclusive and whatever, but that's it. And I really just want to get on there to talk plants. And so I've said multiple times, like, I don't want any version of that. And even, a lot of people I talk to, including my sister, will be like, well, everyone on this wants to get famous. They're like trying to build up their account and be an influencer. And I'm like, no, 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 no. That's not true. There's a whole group of us, and like me, who are like, I'm very complacent with like 4 likes. I'm not even looking at the count of things. I'm looking at the who's liking and what they're saying and our dialogue. And so as long as I posted a story with a question and people answered the question, it was fulfilling for me. And honestly, if I get more than 3 answers, that's too many anyway. I'm like, advice, should I cut this down or not? Like 3 people answer me and I'm like, thanks, such helpful advice. So that's my goal. And I shared that at the beginning. And I don't know why. It just didn't come through my brain. And so then you invited this and I was like, that's a great idea. And then last episode, I feel like I hit that dichotomy of like, this is against all of my values and goals in how I engage on the internet. It's what happens when you are famous. And I have made so many efforts to avoid this. And I know it's just one person and we're not at all famous. I'm not suggesting that. But I was like, ugh, this is why I hate it. And so my concern is I don't want us to ever be successful. And if we are, I would be disappointed. And that feels like a challenge.
Well, I understand probably most of what you're saying there.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely do get the desire for your personal account that just so happens to be gardening right now, for it to not necessarily be like wanting it to get out there and grow. And to be honest with you, that's how my account on Instagram is now, also my gardening account. Like I'll share, but I'm only really there to interact with like 5 to 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in, I check in with them, and then I'm just putting stuff out there just because you almost kind of have to. You have to share a little bit. TikTok's a little different because I'm trying to do something different on TikTok. But the whole gardening thing for me, I think it's different, but I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying, Chelsea.
Yeah.
And my whole purpose with this and doing what I do on TikTok is to expand this, whatever this is, and not necessarily the gardening thing. The gardening thing has to be because that's the only thing that I have monetized there. And I mean, I have a good following there, but
Yeah.
I would rather that just be personal and then have this be all the stuff to where I'm out there. But I question it all the time, because just about every post you have somebody like that, and you're just like, oh my fucking God, this is not what I want to do.
I know. It's such a bummer. I love the content I consume. When we talk about this, like I was an early hire at Patreon. Like I love these forms of virtual content and I like supporting people too to the extent I can. Like I make an effort to buy stuff on people's Amazon pages. Like I do whatever because I'm like, yeah, I'm totally down to support you. I don't go over the top, not so into the tips or whatever, but I do a lot of other things where I try. I'd make an effort to comment. Like I do the things that I know gives other people traction, etc. So I like it. I'm thankful they do it. I'm thankful they're willing to put up for it. I'm just unsure. Like, no, this isn't my personal garden account, which that would be detrimental. But I didn't make the connection if like that lack of desire on that account would impact this. And then when that was happening, some of the things the troll was saying was like, this is the internet. Like, and I was just like, if this is the internet, I just don't want the hate. Like, I don't care if you have different viewpoints than me. It's the hate that is not fun. And so if you have different viewpoints, fine. We weren't even talking about the topic that was happening in the comments, Like it was just so frustrating. They weren't disagreeing with the controversy we were discussing. They were disagreeing with something different.
It's when you get into the straw man argument for just about anything. People will find something. I totally get it. Hopefully you don't look at any of the comments on the other accounts that we have for Tossing Salad. Because
I do on Instagram.
That also brought in other comments. And I struggle with, okay, I know what they're
I haven't
doing.
read them.
Well, you don't need to go read them. But I'm saying
I have to.
No, trust me. It's not even worth it. It's not as good as the boob thing. The boob thing is funnier.
I'm sure it is, but I have to see what people said.
I can point to these people and I can say, you know what you're doing because you're not arguing what we're saying. Like for example, one person was like,
these are so nice. Course, amazing wig. Love the wigs. Share it with me in the DMs. Where were they mad? On YouTube?
YouTube and TikTok.
Oh, yeah. No, I can just assume on YouTube and TikTok that it's like toxic communities.
Yeah. You can imagine it. And so, one comment was like, of course YouTube owns your channel or owns her channel. She doesn't own it. And I'm like, the person's just putting out something out there because they're looking for somebody to engage with because they don't have people to engage with in life. I am 100% sure about that. They don't move the needle in life, but they're able to get some erotic type thing to where if they can get somebody.
Yeah. But that wouldn't bother me. Like if you're just like, fine, we can get into semantics. That's like probably a fair argument. What bothers me is the hate. Yeah. Especially to other populations. Yes. Or not to me as an individual. And now
don't go looking at the YouTube comments then.
Oh God. See? I did have a moment where I was like, I had a moment in my head that was, do I want to speak up or not? And you don't know because you were in the moment, which I loved. You were like talking to me and having a thing. And I was over here having an existential crisis reading the comments. And Brian is just like talking to me. And I'm like, existential crisis.
But I know the struggle that's going on in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Because I go through it also, and I don't deal well with it. Like I don't need, with everything, everybody has stuff going on in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't need extra hate just for hate for the day.
That's what was killing. It's like, this doesn't add to the conversation. We've talked about debate. This doesn't add to the debate. They would have been thrown out of any debate club I was in. Like I was just sitting there like, you're ruining everything for nothing. And I was like, do not negotiate with terrorists. Do not negotiate with terrorists. You're about to see that
until later. And then I'm like, oh, there's like 3 messages from Chelsea in the private messenger.
Oh, I was not okay. I was not great. And Brian was like in the moment.
Well, I was in the moment, distracted, but I'm also trying to have something here to where people are like, oh, what's going on? But I understand that's not what we're here for. I don't want to do that all the time.
Yeah.
But I think what you're kind of getting at is something like this, as you get more people watching and it gets pushed out to more people, that is what that's part of what you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah, they broke my safe, beautiful bubble. I have loved what we've created on this show. So here's my problem. Here's my actual Love is Blind conundrum. I have loved what we've built. And even when it's only two people, but they're engaging and they're creating like a safe, fun environment for us to play and do silly stuff and even have serious conversation and they're engaged. Like it's just so fun. And so I'm like, I love, love, love those moments. And that's what was bothering me is like we were having a good discussion and those commenting were adding to the discussion and adding differing points of view. And it was so interesting. And it turned so south because I said that I love someone and it's like, that's fine. Ugh.
But it wasn't even, it was something, because we were talking, it started with Bud Light or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it completely, I think, whatever happened. But I get it. I understand because I don't want that either. And I struggle with, okay, why am I have a creative bone in me that wants to do something like this somehow, and I'll figure it out as I go.
Mm-hmm.
And how to deal with that strategy changes on a day-to-day basis depending on my mood and my anxiety and all that stuff. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'll fuck around with you then, and I'll fuck around with them in the comments or whatever. I'm like, look, you're just boosting my algorithm, so I'll fuck around with you. And then other times I'm just like, why am I doing this?
Yeah,
I get it. I do.
I was impressed with your response. Like that was the other thing is I was like, Brian is having the appropriate response. I am not.
What did I respond to?
To the troll. You were like
oh, well, I was just
around. You were doing well. I was not well.
No, and I wish I would. And that's just a cue that I don't know you that well then to get that.
Oh, you didn't need. It's not that. It's just a question. I'm very aware of what my triggers are. I have to be because that happens with a troll. It's one thing. But that happens in real life to me all the time. Like I have very strong points of views on some things. And I think we've talked about this where like I am squarely below the line. Like there are just some topics where I will not entertain them. I'm squarely below the line and I don't want to have a discussion around them. And it's not going to end well. And I'm just have solid boundaries and I'm good at communicating them and I get out of it. I'm like, hey, this isn't a good conversation for me. I'm going to step out. Like that's totally fine. But with 99% of the topics, I'm good. So like most people don't even notice. That was one of those topics where I'm not chill. And then in addition to that, just because it's like pure hate towards a human being for no good reason, in my opinion. In addition to that, if being a troll sucked. And then what was killing me too is like everyone else in the audience was arguing with him. And so it was like, or at least it felt that way. So it was like everyone is arguing with him. It's like no one's even engaging or able to listen to us now. And now he's like totally taken the microphone and it's not even fun. So I decided I was going to take it back. And if people want to argue semantics, it's hilarious. But like the truth of the matter is in that moment, I did own the air. Even if I don't own the website.
That's, yeah. I mean, but that's not even what the argument was about or whatever. My thing on that was,
I don't want to know.
I wish I was just more in tune with, and this goes back to what I was saying before. I have no doubt, like I've told you before, you can handle your own thing. Like I know you can have a debate, argument, whatever. But this, and I feel like I can too, but there's going to be times where I feel like, okay, there might be just a day to where I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully somebody around me that's my friend or ally can cue in on something and help me when I need it. I felt like, okay, if that was a situation there to where if I was cued in just a little bit more, I could have handled it maybe a little bit different to get us redirected, refocused, kick the guy out, or just something if I knew that it was making you that uncomfortable. I didn't know.
You couldn't have kicked him out though. He's creating new accounts.
Yeah, but we could have it could have been handled differently if I knew that I was in show mode. So I was thinking maybe Chelsea's kind of in show mode also. So I'm going to let her kind of play it.
Not. You were so good. You were like, I'm good. I'm rolling with it. And I was over here like a volcano ready to kill this
But
dude.
looking back, I absolutely knew that obviously that was just not a good night.
I know.
But I
It's a
mean,
bummer.
for anybody here, Danielle, basically, I mean, Chelsea and I, after we got off the thing, we were on here for 20, 30 minutes or something, I think.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we were just kind
Needed
of
a vent.
chatting. We weren't even talking really about the troll.
No, kind
So
of.
we were just, it was just Brian and Chelsea. And even there, I wasn't picking things up there. So I really kind of thought, well, maybe it was just kind of show Chelsea. But then this all makes sense. And I'm glad that you brought it up. And it's something
Yeah.
that people, not a lot of people will discuss this openly in
Oh,
creating a show and what you have to deal with.
I don't mind discussing it. What's hard for me is I do think it's like an inevitability. And I don't know. I just didn't put it together. If we'll see, but like in my head, that is probably the biggest. That and the time commitment for sure, but that's probably the biggest thing is I don't want to deal with people like that. Like I just don't. Like I do everything to not because I just don't find it healing for me. I don't find it fulfilling.
Yeah,
And it's honestly it could have been on multiple topics. It's just the trolling attitude, like him being like, I have 1 million accounts. I'm just going to keep coming for you. Every time you're online, I'm online. I'm like, oh my God.
and that's a guy that's getting a hard on knowing that this is the only time he's making a needle move. Danielle
Which is
like
why, yeah,
she
you
was
can tell
cued in.
she got it. But which is why I was very strategic in what I was saying. So I really paused before I spoke. I saw it happening for a while. It was just funny to me that like you were still so into the show and I was over here like strategizing. Like I'm going to comfort him. And so when I did, I chose to say the things I said very intentionally, though I will say they weren't honest. Like, and he picked up on that some, right? He was like, "You're so mad at me." And I was like, "I'm not mad. I'm just not giving you the air. I can say whatever I want to say." That's not true. I was like, "I'm also very mad at you."
And my thing is, I mean, again, now that we're figuring out, like, we're Monday morning quarterbacking this thing or whatever. I mean, I am behind you 100%. So at whatever point, if Chelsea is like, this is our fucking show and whatever, I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you were just like, I want your reaction again where you were like, whoa. There was just a moment, you put it on the Instagram where Brian's like, hang on.
Well, I think you can even, like, when I pulled that because I remember the moment because I was confused, and you can see in my eyes are going to all three of my screens. I'm like, what did I miss? Like I'm doing it now.
So genuine. It was so you were like, what the hell's happening?
So then I'm looking at the chat, and I think at the time I was in the banners.
Mm-hmm.
So for people that aren't in our software, but Chelsea and I can see this. So you can click different tabs, and so I'm usually in banners, so I can throw a different banner up on our screen. But if I want to see comments, I have to click comments. And so Chelsea's going in with this guy, and I'm thinking, oh, this is a show thing or something. Some guy's acting up. That's great. And then I did pick up on some tone of Chelsea's that's just different. And so then I'm like, wait a minute, what am I missing? So then I'm trying to find the text or the comments. But I
so great. Your reaction was awesome. It was like that moment when you're like, she's losing it. What's happening?
I completely understand where you're coming from, and I completely understand having where you come up with a moment to where you're like, this is not good. So we have to do something here.
Like what do you, I know that I don't want it and my solution is avoidance, right? But I'm just like, people deal with it. Like the creators I love and follow on TikTok, like most of them are
a lot of them love it. And that's what they build their accounts on.
I don't normally see people entertaining it. I don't follow that kind of content.
I don't either. There was a time you and I I think this is part of the conversation we had after our show. There was a time when I was much younger, right? So my college years and shortly after that, I was up for being kind of a shithead, and I was in for the debates. And then there were times to where I'll take whatever opposite of what I think you are just to fuck around with somebody. And I thought that was funny, and I just thought I was so brilliant and everything like that. I'm to the point now, my last, how old? I'm 47, I think, 48. My last 7 years here, I'm just like, I that's just not me anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to, and that's why like my garden stuff has kind of changed online and everything. I'm like, I'm not that guy anymore. That's all like garden fam. Let me go follow all these garden people because we're all just awesome people that are all on the same page. And I was like, because we're not. And
I
I'm
always
tired of
love
the
the drama.
fakeness.
I never
I'm
know what it
tired
is.
and I'm just like, look, I'm fine with like 8 to 10 people.
That's all
So,
who follows me. That's why I don't know what the drama is.
well, but
I'm only close with 8 to 10 people.
so yeah, so I mean, to some people, it's going to sound strange because there's the podcast, TikTok, all this stuff that I have going on that I enjoy, but the negative stuff and the troll stuff, I have to figure out a better solution.
I love Julie coming in hot.
Oh, Julie. Just wait until you see the
Hot.
next 8 episodes or the 7 episodes. We just planned everything out.
Yeah, we planned everything out. Danielle's the only one who knows the plan, and she's under an NDA. So that is great. Brian did try to fire me, actually. He said my performance on the last podcast did not meet his professional standards, and I broke character, and we had a long talk about it.
Well, let's just save it for the finale. We've got a big finale coming up.
We do.
So,
we do.
So the only thing, so let's just talk about the next episode, episode 24, the big finale, is going to have to be next week. Let me pull up my calendar.
I know, same. I should look at
I am leaving on the 24th, so I'm leaving that Saturday. So I could do a Friday or anything before then.
Is Friday actually possible?
Friday is possible, and it looks like Friday will work. So we're taking...
I could also do a Thursday.
Friday will be good because the wife and my youngest are going to be at work, and so there'll be nobody here. Next week is... The next week and a half is going to be a disaster. Just we're taking my oldest to where he's going, and it has not been a good last month and a half. Because you're losing your oldest, you're losing your baby, or well, not your baby, but
I am the oldest. I remember my parents were a mess.
I mean, I wasn't. I'm the oldest too, and I was like, I can't wait to get the fuck out.
No, I was ready to leave.
Yeah,
but I distinctly remember them like not leaving my dorm room and me being like, "Hey, I'm all set up now." So
yeah. Julie's like, "What? Out. Next week, the finale?" Yes. So we've got everything recorded, but we got to record the finale of what we're going to end up if we're going to continue. So that's why we're trying to. I've been a little behind in getting stuff posted. I'm a little distracted. If you haven't noticed, I've been putting out a lot of other video content. So I can do Friday. I think that would be a good distraction for me if that'll work for you. Plus Friday is always a party night.
Friday is good. I want to like really rally. And then am
I frozen?
You are. I was wondering what was going on.
What the fuck?
You just froze like a second ago. I was kind of waiting because honestly, you've
monologue for just a second. Let me go check my camera. Hold on.
Okay, so Julie and Danielle, who are listening, curious, but I think the thinking for Friday, super party episode, and also like what would you want to see? But my thought is if we take, wow, that's a weird error. if we take all of the episodes that we've done and kind of pick our favorites and do like clips of those throughout the episode, and then we'll end with the pivotal sort of decision on next steps. If anyone has any thoughts, I think that'll work, and that'll be a good idea. We won't have time to do all the episodes because let's see, 16. So we have 7 recorded that are released.
Am I on?
Yes, you're on.
Okay.
What happened?
Yeah, so I mean, it should be a pretty good finale.
It'd be awesome. So I'm 2 things that I want to do is rally some past peeps.
Yeah, because all
who've been live with
finales
us.
always bring other people on. You remember the Seinfeld finale? They
Mhm,
brought every character back.
Yep, we're
Now,
gonna
just-
do that.
Just to warn everybody, the Seinfeld finale sucked.
It was terrible.
Finales are always underwhelming, so I hope ours isn't going to be.
I watched the Seinfeld finale once, and I watched all the other episodes way more than once. So I barely remember it. But we'll bring people back. I was also thinking we go back to the list of only our featured episodes, not the episodes in the vault, and pull out the topics for them.
Okay.
And potentially consider like if there are pieces of them we want to revisit or that we don't feel that are resolved. I think there's a couple of questions we need to answer at the final ultimatum moment. Of course,
Which
one
will
of
be
them
at
is
the end of the show.
future. Yeah.
So you're
but
wanting
another one
to
is
have
our relationship. You keep saying you barely know me. It's probably worth us like addressing like where are we now?
prior to making the decision if we're going to continue, right?
Or
Like right
in the
before?
same vein. That's like one of the
Okay.
questions, you
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
Like where are we now?
Sure. That's fine. No, I get it. We've done so many episodes. I can talk about that.
I
And
think
then
it's fun.
Maybe I mean it'll be a jam-packed hour 20 minutes maybe. But let's just say if things are kind of going good and we're just like, you know, what can we do? Maybe we can throw in a couple ideas, like do like a quick one. Like we'll do like one what was the one thing we were wanting to do?
Oh, improv.
Improv. Maybe we'll do like a 5-minute improv because we never got to do a full show on it.
We should. Also, Julie says that Castle should make an appearance, but she needs to be somewhere in public.
Yeah.
I
Sitting next to
totally
somebody.
agree.
Yeah,
I
so I think Chelsea has an idea for that. So roughly what we'll do is at the very end of the finale show, episode 24 next week. And did we agree to Friday yet?
I'm good with Friday.
Okay. We will announce we will be on the altar just like they do in Love is Blind. Maybe we should have some dramatic music. And we'll have the people that are there in the audience decide who they want to go first to tell if they want to go or not. If they want Chelsea to go first or if they want Brian to go first.
Can we green screen?
I think so. Well, you can put up present a window and then one on top of that.
Let's have everyone vote. So I think like this should be our maximum audience participation episode. I'm going to make a rule right now that we're immediately expelling trolls, not for this episode.
Well,
not
I
invited.
wish. Well, I mean, so this is for other people.
I didn't
but
know they
we
were
can
troll
have-
right away.
We can have producers on the show. I mean, obviously we can't do it now. We're at the end of our series, but we could essentially have somebody that was a producer of the show, and that would be the rule. Like, hey, if there's anybody we give you a signal for or something, they can get rid of somebody, and you and I don't have to mess with it and take us out of our show.
Okay, so we need to appoint Danielle or Julie, if either of you listening, we need to appoint that person. Additionally, especially because Brian does not look at chat when he's in the moment.
Well, I don't know how to do it though. We'd have to invite them in as an actual role and we're at the end. We're not going to have time to teach them
Okay.
the software.
Well, let's just assume it's not going to happen. Let's assume good intentions. We've had 1 million episodes and only one episode
Yeah,
was
that's
tarnished.
fine.
And then I think we have some guest appearances. We allow for everyone to vote. Ooh, vote. I think I understand Julie's comment. Okay, here. Allow them to vote on their favorite content episode.
Sure.
So I'll make a graphic so we can present all of our various content episodes and people can vote on their favorite content episode. That would be fun.
Yeah, Julie, there's a way to make somebody now, like in Instagram and stuff like that, you can make somebody a moderator. Within our software program that we use in StreamYard, I can actually have a producer that has that role, but then they'd have to get in the software with us. And then, maybe if Chelsea and I decide to continue to do this, maybe we have a couple producers that are not on screen, but have that ability to do that.
Sounded like you're making this more attractive.
So we're agreeing then at the end of the next episode, the final 10 minutes, we are going to make our announcement, each one of us, if we want to continue.
Yep, that'll be
the other person.
Our decision.
Like they do on Love is Blind, or no?
Yeah, I think we should start with like, hey, there were a couple big questions. One is like, do you even know each other now? 2 is like, where is this relationship going?
Who is the person on Love is Blind that made fun, like, for the eating problem? They're like, I was just eating a grape or something. I was like, are you eating another grape?
She was eating a clementine.
Or clementine,
what is his name?
Yeah.
He was like, are you seriously eating another clementine? What was his name? That was great. I'm gonna reach out to some special guests and sort of see what availability looks like.
Yeah. Good.
I will make a graphic so we can vote on our fave.
Now I know,
episode.
It's going to be kind of I think kind of like an hour and 20-minute show, but just remember, even if we're feeling good and we're like, let's just keep going, my laptop can't handle it. So I start to degrade as it goes on. So 120 is probably like, we have to kind of start getting off. So between 1 hour and 120 is when we start wrapping the show up.
I'd say we just start with voting, reminiscing, if anything else comes up, and then move to the altar.
Yeah.
So we have time.
What would Nick and Jessica do? Nick and
here's your tagline.
What's his wife? Vanessa. Nick and Vanessa, not Jessica.
Yeah, Nick and Vanessa.
Is Brian going to get on one knee via webcam or leave Chelsea? Exactly. There you go. So you want me to use, how do I make that as our tag?
So I think you actually should post it like tonight or tomorrow morning. So because we also like normally, just to change the experiment sound, like normally we start rallying people like 2 or 3 days in advance. Mm-hmm. We need to start rallying people like ASAP.
Okay. Again, I can only do one thing at a time. I need to knock out then the thumbnail. So help me design this real quick right now. So
okay.
We both take a picture. Do you have anything in mind? Which, hey, I'm playing with the new Photoshop AI thing, which is really cool. I can Photoshop you and I as a bride and groom type thing. Like,
do you need like a full body of me like standing with my hands? Which way do my hands go? Like this?
I think just like a mid shot up
of me like this.
And then I can have you and I facing each other, and then I can just have Photoshop AI create something.
But we need to stand like you need your like you're like holding hands. So you devote stands so you can
so you stand one way and send me that picture, and then I'll just make the reciprocating picture to fit that.
Okay.
And then I'll let Photoshop AI handle the rest of it, and then whatever it comes up with.
I'll be like this.
Yeah, why can't it be my hands over my mouth in shock?
No.
So since Julie got on here late, I'm curious. So Julie, what is your guess? Is Danielle still on here too? Danielle and Julie, what is your guess on what our answers are going to be? For continuing, so these are the options. Chelsea and I both agree that we want to continue this project, and we're going to make a podcast out of it. or one of us says yes, one of us says no, or we both say, you know what? We had a good time, but I think this is it. Julie thinks we're both going to quit.
Danielle, what do you think? Danielle can't answer. She was here for the NDA portion.
Quit. Danielle quit on us already.
Oh, well, she was here for the NDA portion of the segment, so she can't answer.
Who's the second person, though? We've had
I
two
don't know.
the entire night.
I know. I thought it was Danielle.
What if it's the troll guy?
Sorry. No, Danielle's still on. And thank you, Danielle, for upholding your contractual agreement.
Danielle, don't you know how
she cannot guess? She signed an NDA.
But it's all part of the show then. She can at least add to it.
She can't lie. Okay.
She can add a little pizzazz.
Without disclosing. She can't guess.
What did you think was going to happen then prior to... Julie thinks we're both going to be a no. You think, Julie, you think both of us are going to say no, that we're good with the 24 episodes?
I love this. I am like excited to see what bride swag I have, because I, like most women of my age, have like a bag of bachelorette crap that I take from thing to thing. I may have a veil.
Well, I think, and I'm just messing with it, but I think Photoshop AI, if you just have a photo of you pose that way, I can tell it to put a veil over your face.
Okay, so don't do and just like pose. Oh wait, Danielle, previously.
Or we can fuck around with people, and then I can come posed in a dress, and you come in a tuxedo.
Oh, definitely. I have been a best man.
And then maybe we invite the troll back. Everybody comes back.
No.
The no soup for you guy.
No soup for you.
So, okay, good. Well, I think
that
we've got a good plan for the finale. It should be fun.
And I think you post the thumbnail. Night. Post the thumbnail with this prompt. Post the thumbnail with like, will they or won't they? You know.
Should we make an actual one, or did we say something that I can cut? Do you want to say
Probably
something?
Make one.
Okay, why don't I say, okay, I'll say something. Okay, so let's do a teaser here that I can use with a thumbnail. So I'm going to say...
Hang on, I'm going to look up Love is Blind script. Wait. Sorry.
So while you're looking up that, I'm going to read what Julie's saying. All depends on what you all get out of this. If it fills our creative bucket, then keep it going. Why not? What do you have to lose? Time, I guess. That's true.
Oh, they say like custom things. Okay, so we're going to have to make up our own.
Well, we'll keep it simple.
Yeah.
So I'll say, Chelsea, we're coming up on our big episode 24 finale. And how do I hand it off to you? This is where we announce if we're going to stay together or not. Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Should we talk about the vault?
No.
Okay.
No.
Save it.
No, just like Taylor.
Taylor.
We look at that like Taylor does. You know how after so many concert episodes and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, by the way, I recorded something 6 months ago."
Oh, is this the end of the road or does it continue? I like that.
All right, so I'm going to hand it to you and then you say something cute like that, okay?
Okay.
You got it? All right. All right, Chelsea, we're coming up to episode 24, our finale of whether we stay together or not.
So it's time to make a decision. It's been, a long 24 episodes. So is this the end of the road or does it continue?
Good.
I was like almost longer. And then I was like, be concise. You need to get good at this finally.
That way the fans will like start looking at the way we're looking at each other and how we said certain things. And I think his voice was quivering when he said that. I think he's going to say no.
Well, the journey must go on. Okay. I'm very excited. If you can get the thumbnail.
Well, you got to give me the picture first. I need your picture facing
I'm going to give you the picture in moments.
Oh, God. It's going to be like thrown. Make sure it's like lit. Good. Chelsea's
So
like, I'm always like asking. I was like, and we've done pretty good. Like Chelsea will give me like 8 to 10 photos that she'll just hammer out like
they were
that.
great.
They were great, but
You didn't love them. I thought they
I
were
just
so
let's
good.
just make sure that you get me one that's well lit. All your body parts are in frame, so I don't have to Photoshop fingertips or anything this time.
I'll do what I can. It'll be great. I'll get it to you because I want to get the thumbnail going, and then I'm gonna make a graphic for us to post like in a couple days of the
All right.
top episodes so people can rank them.
Okay.
And then we need some other like teasers.
All right. So we'll get off here. You get me your photo tomorrow because I don't think you can get it today.
Yeah, you don't like the
from
lighting today. You're
mid-
disappointed.
mid up. And you
Okay.
can go outside or something. Remember, I can kind of get you. I just keep a clean background.
Look how much Brian is like, your lighting in your house sucks.
This is the finale. I
Get
just want to make sure.
of the house.
No, but I'm just like, Chelsea would do it in her hallway with like, arm's length of her phone. And just
my
get me just a
God.
good shot with all your body
I would
parts
sit
in
my
it.
phone right here on my computer and I would just like post. I thought they were great.
All right, so
you could do a snapshot. Just do like a reel of my.
you give me
my
your
photos.
photo and you face whatever side is your favorite side, and then I'll pose the opposite way.
Mhm.
And then maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll do like a video clip of me creating it in Photoshop too, and I'll post that somewhere just for bonus content.
Yeah,
it
'cause
is
we need
kind of funny
extra.
watching Photoshop AI like come up with like weird shit. So
If
next
you
Friday,
have time, which I absolutely will not, I'm sorry, but if you have time, pull a bunch of like best of best clips together and put on the graduation song as we go on.